The first lesson that we've had on nouns. Nouns. And the one thing that we understood is that Greek is what they call an inflected language, that the form of a word changes slightly depending on its function. And there's basically four functions, and then I demonstrated it with a sentence that says, Bob gave the book of Lucy, or Bob gives the book of Lucy to Paul. There's a person doing the action, there's the thing being passed, there's the owner of the thing, and then there's a person who's the recipient. Those are the four basic things. Now, it can get a little bit more complicated than that, but those are the four most basic things. And when you look at page 24, when you look at your Greek textbook, the actor, the main actor, the subject is nom, and that's called nominative. But these are all Latin words. They're the nom, gen, dative. They're all Latin words, and they're standard. So this week we're going to have to get a little more familiar with the terms. I personally don't like them because they don't give you any clue as to function. So we called nom, the actor. Lucy, the owner of the book, we called, it's called genitive there, but we called owner. The dative is the recipient, the indirect object. Paul's receiving the book of Lucy. He's the thing getting it passed to. Verbs with giving, showing, and telling. I tell a presentation to. I show a demonstration to. I give a gift to. Have these what's called dative or indirect objects. And then the accusative is the thing passed. So we learned how to do this with masculine nouns and neuter nouns. Masculine nouns are page 24. Neuter nouns are on page 25. I'm sorry. 25 is also masculine, but neuter nouns are on page 26, and they're just with slight variations. Now, let me just have you turn over to page 29 just for a second, because I'm just going to go ahead, but I just want to encourage you that we're not going to do anything conceptually different. If you go to page 29, lesson 5, you'll see that we're doing the same thing. You see the NV, you see the G, the dative, the accusative. We're doing the exact same thing, but we're going to deal with feminine nouns. The good thing about that is that you already understand what we're doing. If you understand this week, you understand next week. We're just going to have some small variations for this other class of nouns that we left out. We didn't do feminines. We only dealt with masculines and neuters. So conceptually, you won't have to really learn anything new. You'll just have to learn some different endings. Okay? But if we were going to go to page 24, so we're going to be doing this, we're going to do this case system. Nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, vocative. Vocative is a direct address. Nothing's being passed, nothing's being owned. It's just, hey, you, excellent Theophilus. That's what the vocative is. We're going to be doing this for the next month or so, because we're going to be doing this in all different kind of forms. But if I have this word anthropos, Angie, and he's a subject, just give me, how do you say man as a subject? No, it's anthropos. That's the basic form, as the subject, as the actor. He's the first line. No, anthropos. Look at 24. The first line is anthropos. If he's owner, anthropo, as is recipient, dative. Anthropo. When one goes long, you can't go anthropos. You can't go 3-2-1 when one turns long. Alec, when he is the object. Anthropon. When we're doing men as subject, Taras. Just look at it. First row to the right. Men. First row to the right. See how there's men. Men. Anthropoi. What about when men are owning? Anthropon. Eldar, when the recipients are men. Anthropos. Pavel, when they're the objects. Anthropos. Let's do the neuter. Let's go over to Doron, which means gift. Maria, when it's the subject. James, when it's the owner. Doru. Dima, when it's the recipient. Doro. Albina, when it's the object. Yes, in the neuter, 1 and 4, the nom and the accusative are always the same. Mike, when it's the plural subject. Gifts. No, gifts. Dora. Who haven't we had? Vitali, when they're owner in the plural. Doron. Slavic, when they're recipients in the plural. Dorois. And Victor, when they're objects. So they're pretty much the same. Masculine and neuter, the reason they're in the same lesson is that the owner and the recipient are the same, and the actor and the object are very, very similar. The objects and the similar are going to be, anyway, they're very, very similar. You can see the slight differences. One of the things on page 25 is that, remember, we're dealing with nouns. Verbs slam to the left. Nouns have a given starting point that's defined by their subject state, where they are as when they're subject. And so if one is accented, these nouns have a circumflex on 1 and 2 and 3 position. The genitive and the dative are going to be circumflexed in the singular and the plural if the given starting point is on 1. That's what 25 is showing you. When you see huias, huihu, and huio, number 2 and number 3 on the left and the right are circumflexed on 1 if 1 is the starting point. Now, if you have that, you basically have everything you need. And I think that what we have to do is let's just kind of look over the vocabulary. We'll do the 20 Greek to English. Then I'll have you take the quiz because you'll be nice and warmed up after a week. And then we'll go and complete the exercises and go on to the next one. Okay? So on 23, now we're just going to go over the vocabulary. I'll do the first one. Adelphos ha. That ha makes it a masculine. Ta is a neuter. Adelphos ha, a brother. Slavic, the second one. Apostalu. Yeah. Ginoskousi, onamus, kai, didaskousi, doulos, apostolo. Guys, it's just a puzzle. Just figure out throw it in, fill out the equation. It's mathematics is what it is. Once you get the formula, just plug in the thing, right? And you got it. That's it. You plug in the thing. Okay. So we are we've got a half an hour, which is going to be plenty of time. Because we're done with 4. Okay, so you're basically more than 10% of the way done with the class, right? Because you have 33 chapters. But let's go to lesson 5. Now, lesson 5, let's just go to lesson 4. Go to page 23. Put a finger there, and we're going to toggle back and forth a little bit between 23 and 29. So lesson 4 said the second declension. Lesson 5, if you switch there, says the first declension. The second declension are masculines and neuters. The reason they put those together is they're largely the same. The neuter is different in line number 1 and in line number 4 in the plural. But like logon, doron, there's a lot the same. They're all the same except for in 4 and one of the ones. So when you go to lesson 5, the first declension is feminine. Look at just section 47. All nouns of the first declension ending in a or a are feminine. Now, you know feminine stuff for the most part because they end in a, just like machina. For the most part, things in a, they're feminine sounding, like John and Juana, Giovanni, Giovanna. It's the same in Greek. Everything ending in an a is basically feminine. It sounds feminine. Simple. Now, when you look at the paradigms in the first page 29, it's pretty much the same. In structure, you've already been notified that the endings are going to be slightly different because none of the thanatos, logos, weos, none of those ended in a. Doron, hiran. So you're going to have slightly different endings, but the structure is the same. We don't have to make up sentences, talk about subject. We know all those. We even know the names of them. We just have to tack on slightly different endings. That's it. So given the fact that they're going to be ending in an eta and an alpha, that's what 47 says, let's just kind of take it with an alpha because that's the majority case. You're going to have all these words that end in an alpha because they're feminine. Now, if you look at the vocabulary, and you have 14 words, for the most part, they're going to end in a. Aletheia, which is truth. Basileia, which is kingdom. Now, graphe is an eta. That's ophe. Doxa, which is glory. That's where we get doxology. Erene Irenaeus, it ends in an ade. Ecclesia, okay, you get the point. It's an a, end in a or ada. That's it, okay? Because we're different. We're dealing with feminine. We're dealing with a different group of nouns. Now, given the fact, when you go down to the paradigm, which is the little table there, you just have to know how to manipulate the A. If it's in just a regular A, it's the subject. If it's an AS, now this word is hora, which is really where we get the word hour or hour. If you ever wonder how we got the hey or the H on the beginning of our word hour, like, well, in the world, English is like wood. How'd you get W-O-U-L-D? You poor second language speakers, man, English is brutal, right? Good. Like, whatever. Hora is a rough breathing, but this is where we get the word hour, because that's exactly what it means. But here I'm just going to say the paradigm, okay? Hora, okay, these are, remember, nouns don't slam to the left. They have a given starting point, and this given starting point is on 2. Hora, 2-1, hora, horas. Hora, again, it looks a little bit different because it has a little mini iota. It's called a iota subscript underneath the dative. Here we go. Hora, horas, hora, horan, like log on a little bit. Now move to the plural. Horai, horon, horais, horas. Now I'm just going to do it again. You're going to have some questions. There's 1 or 2 idiosyncrasies here that I will explain. Hora, horas, hora, horan. Horai, horon, horais, horas. You might say, well, in number 2 on the right, why does it switch to 1? I'll talk about that. Now, just go ahead and turn over just really briefly. I want to encourage you by the fact that this is a very short chapter. To see the exercises on the lower right, that's a good thing. So we're not going to have a whole lot of new material, okay? But if you turn back to the first page, that's it. Hora, horas, hora, horan, horai, horon, horais, horas. You see a lot of similarities, like ois and ice on the right-hand side, or on and on, aeon in the left, okay? But that's basically it. Now let's just talk a little bit about idiosyncrasies, things that just need slight amount of explaining. Why don't you turn the page? I'll take the next little paradigm on the bottom of 30, aletheia, and you'll see that they have the exact same endings. As, on, I, on, ice, as. Exact same. Aletheia, aletheas, aletheia, aletheon, alethei, aletheon, aletheis, aletheas. Now let me just explain some of the shifts and stuff you're seeing. One of the idiosyncrasies, one of the funny things about this particular group is that, do you see on the right number 2, aletheon? It's just a funny thing. I mean, we don't know why, but in the genitive plural of these feminine nouns, there's always a circumflex on 1. That's just the way it is. In other words, if you looked on the bottom, look at 51. See where it says 51, the last 3 sentences? But nouns of the first declension, these feminines, have a circumflex on 1 in the genitive plural no matter what. That's just the way it is. Doesn't matter where it starts. All the other 9 forms are where the starting, that just happens to be it. That's new. Let me show you something else. I'm going to show you one more thing that's old and one more thing that's new. The new thing is that the first new thing is that these end in a or eta. That's new. The second new thing is that the genitive plural always has a circumflex on 1. I'll show you one old thing and one more new thing. The old thing is that look at 56 on the right-hand side. Now this happens to end in eta, and you might have some questions about this, but do you remember huias? And we said whenever the starting point is at 1, it'll have a circumflex on 1 on 2 and 3 singular and 2 and 3 plural. That's what's showing here. Can I just read it? Graphe, graphes, graphe, graphane, graphai, graphone, graphais, graphas. Do you see how the genitive, the 2 and 3 on the left and 2 and 3 on the right have circumflexes there? It's the same. You've seen that before with huias. That's the one old thing. Same thing. In all of these groups of nouns, when you have a starting point of 1, they're going to have a circumflex on 2 and 3 on the left and 2 and 3 on the right. But that's old. You've seen that already. Now let me explain the third new thing. The first new thing is that these end in a. The second new thing is that in the genitive plural, on number 2 on the right, it has a circumflex on 1 no matter what. Here is the third new thing. Look at the top of the page with doxa. Doxa means glory. Doxology means glorification. I'm going to read this paradigm, and I'm just going to explain something here real quick. Doxa, doxes, doxe, doxon, doxai, doxon, doxais, doxas. Now, on the right, number 2, we've already seen this new thing that it has a circumflex. But the thing I'm going to point out here is, why does it change from an A, doxa, to an eta in 2 and 3 on the left, back to an A on 4, doxa, doxes, doxe, doxon. See how 1 and 4 are A and 2 and 3 are eta on the left. Similarly on the right, doxai, doxon, doxais, doxas. Why? Well, not really. It doesn't really apply to the right. But why on the left does it go to eta and 2 and 3? Well, there's this rule that if you look, okay, you know where you have these A endings? If the letter before the A, before that ending, is air. Let me show what I mean. See 55? Right underneath that paradigm, it says the A in the nominative singular of first declension's nouns is changed to eta in the genitive and dative, 2 and 3 left after everything except E, I, and R. We call this the air rule. So if you look before the A and you have an E, an epsilon, a iota, or a rho, you have A's the whole time. Everything else does this A in 1 and 4, eta in 2 and 3, and then the right-hand side is unaffected. Let me repeat that. When you look before the A, if you have air, epsilon, iota, or R, E-I-R, air, then you have straight A's everywhere. In every other case except those 3, you get A in 1 and 4, eta in 2 and 3, and the right-hand side is unaffected. Now let me just give you a few examples, okay? Would you turn back to 29? This word is hora. So if you look before the A, do you have air? Do you have epsilon, iota, or rho? Yes. That means you'll have A's all over the place, and that's exactly what you see. You have a whole 4 A's on the left, and the right-hand side is basically unaffected. Let's go to the left, the page 30. Aletheia. If you snip the A off, do you have air? Epsilon, yes, you do. So you have straight A's. He's a very good student. On the left-hand side, and it's unaffected on the right. Let's look at the upper right. Snip off the A. Before the A, do you have air? No. So you'll have A's in 1 and 4, eta in 2 and 3, and the right-hand side is unaffected. Let's look at the last one, graphe. Snip off the last thing, in this case an eta. Do you have air? No. In this case, though, because it started off with eta, it'll just be eta all the way on the left, and it's the same on the right. So the basic rule is this. If you have one that ends in eta, you have straight etas. If you have air with an A, you have straight A's. If you have anything else, you have A in 1 and 4 and eta in 2 and 3. The right-hand side is always unaffected. So when you think about this chapter, it's much more of the same. There's only 3 new things. You have a bunch of nouns with alpha and eta. You have a circumflex on 1 on the number 2 on the right side no matter what, and you have this air rule. If you snip off the A and you have air, you have A's all the way down the left-hand side. If you start with eta, you have etas all the way down the left-hand side. If you have anything else, non-air, you have A in 1 and 4 and eta in 2 and 3. We'll just repeat these 4 paradigms again. Go to 29. Snip, and you have air, you have straight A's on the left-hand side. Flip over. Snip, and you have air, in this case, iota, you have straight A's on the left-hand side. Top of page 31. Snip, and you don't have air, you have alpha, and you don't have a starting eta either. You have A in 1 and 4 and eta in 2 and 3. In the bottom, graphe, you start with eta, you have straight etas on the left. If you start with eta, you have straight etas. If you start with alpha and you have air, you have stealth alphas. If you start with alpha non-air, you have A, eta, and 2, 3. In all cases, you have in the genitive masculine, genitive feminine plural, you have a circumflex on one. If you get that, you've got everything. That's 5. That's it. Is that the running joke? That's it. That's it. The 3 new things are alpha and etas, circumflex on one of the genitive plural, and this air thing. Start with eta, end with eta. Alpha plus air, all alphas. Alpha plus non-air, alpha, alpha with 2 sandwiched etas. Now, let's just go over the vocabulary a little bit, and let's go over the basic paradigm, and we'll practice a little bit. We've got 20 minutes. Let's just go across. Now, in this case, you remember how we did thanatos, ta, huias, ha, all that kind of stuff. Here we have, I'll do the first one, aletheia, hey. This is a rough breathing. Hey. Hey. Truth. Okay, take the next one. Yeah, read all the way across. Basileia. Yeah, by the way, this is where you get the word Vasily. Basileia is kingdom. Basilus is king. Vasily is a Greek name. It's not a Russian name. I don't want to make any comments on the Vasilis. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, graphe, like grapho is right. Graphe is a writing. This is going to be, and then let's just do another thing, like aletheia. Do I have air or not? I have air, and it's going to be straight A's on the left-hand side. Basileia, do you have air or not, Slavic? Yes, you have straight A's on the left side. Graphe, no, but it has eta, starts with eta, so you can have straight etas. Okay, Alexei? So it's going to have, excellent, that's right. 1 and 4 alpha, 2 and 3 eta. Irene, like Irenaeus, the church father. Irene. Peace, that's right, that's right. And it's etas, you can have straight etas. Starts with etas, straight etas. Paul? Whoa. Ecclesia. You know what that means, right? Hey, church, ecclesiastical, all those words are church. And ek means out, and klesia means called. It means called out. It means called to be holy, called to be separate. That's what it means. Physically in the Old Testament, spiritually in both Testaments. Dima? Right. That's right. That's absolutely right. Zoe. Yeah, like this English, this woman's name, Zoe. It's not really, it's Zoe. That's where they get it. Irene has no air, so it's straight alphas. Ecclesia, Paul, does it have air or not? No. Yes, it does, because it has iota. He said it with such confidence. Right. He almost convinced me. Yes, it has air, and it's got straight alphas on the left. Entele, Dima?
So it ends with eta, so it can be all eta.
Straight etas. Okay. Zoe? Did you say straight etas? Okay. Angelina? Hey, meta. Air or no air? So there's going to be straight A's, okay? Yeah, cardiology, cardiac arrest, all of those words, okay? Yep. Parabole. Straight etas. Para means aside, ballet means to throw. Throw alongside for the sake of comparison. That's what a parable is. Straight etas. Phonology, phonograph, all those. Phone. Phonates means to make a sound. Psuche. Psuche, like harasho, psuche. This is where you get psychology, by the way. Psuche. Plus psychology. You thought that was just being German. No, they're not being German, they're being Greek. Plus psychology. Psuche. Hey, a soul, it's going to be straight etas. Hora. In our, and it is going to be air, going to be straight A's. Let's do the paradigm. Hora, horas, hora with a little horan, horai, horon, horais, horas. Okay? Yeah, can you just read the left-hand side maybe?
The whole thing?
Yeah. All four, there's four.
Hora, horas, hor-
It's hora, horas. 2-1. 2-1.
hora, hora, hora.
Right. Horan's like log on. Four, a singular is kind of very similar. No, the right-hand side?
Horai, hora, horon,
Horon. It's always going to be on one. Horas. Horas. And number 4 on the right-hand side is always going to be long. If that was short, then you would have to have a circumflex. But we know that that A is long. Okay? Go aletheia.
aletheia, aletheia,
Aletheas.
aletheia,
Because it's switched to a long, so it can't go all the way to 3. Aletheia. Aletheas.
aletheia,
Aletheas.
aletheia, alethian,
Aletheon.
aletheia.
Aletheia. Aletheon. Okay? Uh-huh. Aletheia. Uh-huh. No, this is always there. Right. Oh, we're reading it from the next page. Switch to page. And we thought you were just slow. Aletheis. Aletheas. Okay, Alexi? Okay. Eldar? Doxon. Uh-huh. No, these are straight A's. Graphane, straight A's.
Graphite, graphon, graphites, graphos.
Okay, man. If you can get that, you got it. Now, why don't we just do a little translation? Now, next time, look at this. You're going to have 18 Greek to English, and you're going to have 11 to Greek. Now, what you're going to do is that you may not have to memorize all 4 of these. Just memorize a simple one like doxa. Doxa, doxes, doxa, doxon, doxai, doxon, doxais, doxas. Just remember air and the second, number 2 on the right, and you're done. Memorize it first. Memorize the vocabulary first, and then use the exercises to pound in. Don't try to use exercises to memorize it. It won't work. Okay? So the first one, are we at you, Albanation? No. Yeah. Albanation, number 1. Raider Nation, Albanation. Suke. Zoan. I do. Whoa, what? Yeah. Yeah, but Suke's in what case? No. Soul is the actor. See how it ends in an eta? It's the one doing the scene. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, a soul sees life. So you said nominative, feminine, singular, present active, infinitive, third, singular, accusative, feminine, singular. Good. Mike?
Basileia.
Basileia.
Basilea.
Just one at a time. Aletheon. Uh-huh. Okay, now guys, he's going to start really simple. He's not going to do this tibia, livluya. He's going to start with actor, verb, subject. You see what I'm saying? Basileia, a kingdom,
Kingdom.
ginoske, knows.
Truth.
Good. A kingdom knows truth. Excellent. All right. Taras? And Talas? Good. Absolutely. Lot? Apostoloi. Yeah, so you have the only thing new is the last word. You already know the first one, and you see all these kais, you know they're going to be the same, right? So, gifts. Right. Right. All three of them. When they're hooked together, they're chained together like that. You know, you can have accusative masculine plural, accusative neuter plural, accusative feminine plural. He did that so you can get a masculine, a neuter, and a feminine. He starts with the masculine and neuter because you have those already. Okay, 5. Ecclesiae. Zoane. Thanaton. Now okay, you pretty much just take a second to peg ecclesiae. Just look at the chart, tell me where it is. Look at the ending. Match it to the place in the chart. You have an I ending, right? Match it to the place in the chart. Scan the endings. There's no I in the singular. You have an I. Give me case gender number.
General.
No, look at it. What's your feminine plural? So you know it's an actor. So just go for it. You know what that is. And great. There it is. You're just, you know what the word is? Just scan the ending, match it up, and just boom. Okay. Lege. Not sons. Match it up. A son of a slave. To a church. You don't know how to say the church yet. To a church. Ecclesia and ecclesia with that little dinky comma there is the difference between left-hand side 1 and left-hand side 3. Okay, you want to try 7?
Lego man. Oh, I'm sorry.
Parabalain. Comparison, object and with the verb understood. If they can get away with taking out the verb, they love it. They love it. Oh, a church teaches an apostle, and a kingdom a slave. And you're supposed to play the game. Okay, good. Very, very good. And Of course, they could put in the verb again, but the Greeks say, hey, if I can get out without it, man, you're going to have to follow. I'll leave you in the dust. That's the way the Greeks are. Okay? Parabalein. With a little Yoda, a little, okay. Guys, listen, we're almost done with the homework. It's just a game. It's just a game. That's all it is. You sit around and play this game. You plug in the formula, you scan the word, you go to the end, you match it up. That's all it is, Paul. Cardiae, anthropon, ehusi. No, say, don't panic. Don't panic. Just take it slowly. Be more Eastern. You're Russian, remember? Zoein kai erein. All right, good. You're royalty, Paul. That's why I call you Paul. I don't call you that. It's prophetic, bro. Okay. No. Cardiae, match it up. Match it up. Scan to the end. Match it up. Where do you have the I? Guys, you can't guess at Greek or you'll get hammered. They play games with you. There's only one way to do it, and they like mixing it around. You guess based on word order like English, you're going to get hammered. Match it up. Cardiae. Tell me, left or right? Cardiae. Where's the I? What? Good. So that's your subject, right? Give it to me in the plural. Hearts of men. Own. Where is it? Own. Where is it? Place it to me. Left or right? Right. Own. Right what? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Right. Hearts of men. Accuracy. Have. They have. Yeah. Okay, good. Guys, we're done. You can do this. I would say that it'll take you, I would say about 25 minutes to memorize the table. 45 minutes to memorize the vocabulary. It's 16 words. You just do it over. It should take you 45 minutes. At the first time, it should take you about 30. It should probably take you about 10 minutes. Pretty soon, it's going to be ridiculous. After that first 40 minutes, I would say 25 minutes to do the table, 45 minutes for vocabulary. We did almost all the homework in 20 minutes. The homework should take you no more than an hour. Hour and a half max. So you're talking about the Saturday afternoon. You take the vocabulary 45 minutes. You take the table 30 minutes. You should be done in everything. If you sit down at 3:30, you should be done by 6. You're done. All you have to do is review it a couple times before you come into class. You're talking about 3 hours every Saturday for 9 months, and then you can read New Testament. Then you'll be able to translate John, is what you'll be able to do. All right, about 3. Maybe it might get a little heavier, but if we keep it this rate, about 3.5 hours between one Saturday afternoon should pretty much do it with about another 20 minutes on the other days. Pretty much is what we're talking about. Okay? All right, man. See ya. Do number 5.